Alright, friends, let's continue with market targeting. As discussed in the previous video, concentrated marketing targets a large share of one or more smaller segments or niches, limited company resources, knowledge of the market, and more effective and efficient. So, the thing is, with concentrated marketing, you have more advantages. You do not use a lot of resources at the same time, especially financial resources and human resources at the same time, and then you gain wider knowledge of the market, and it is more effective and more efficient. This is the same as, for example, Aramex offers new services such as shop and ship for the customers. If they are located in the region like Arab world, they are willing to buy products from online shops in the United States and Europe in order to differentiate itself from large competitors such as DHL, UPS, and FedEx. So Aramex is similar to DHL, UPS, and FedEx, but the thing is, it is different from these big giant logistics supply company. This Aramex company, what it would do is it would provide a shop and ship offer for anybody who is buying things from United States or UK, and all they need to do is just talk to Aramex, and they would buy from there for them and also ship for them. So this makes Ramix, this is known as concentrated marketing. This is a tiny need here in this region, in the Middle East region, where people have problems paying large amounts of money to, international logistics suppliers. So a local supplier, local transporter has jumped in and provide this service at a fraction of a cost. So this is not requiring a lot of resources by Aramex, but it is providing a lot of value to the consumers. So this is known as concentrated marketing, and Aramex again becomes a favorite for other bigger international transportations for these particular customers. If you look at micro marketing, it is the practice of tailoring products and marketing programs to suit the tastes of specific individuals and locations. Again, micro marketing is like, using a microscope and looking at the really, micro needs of the target market. And this is known as local marketing and individual marketing. In a local marketing means that, the immediate surrounding of the business, what are the micro needs. Okay, sometimes, in the immediate, for example, you have a grocery store, a famous grocery store, and it is located in the community where senior citizens are living. Okay, and these senior citizens, most of them have mobility issues. They cannot walk, they cannot drive. They want somebody to transport or deliver groceries at their doorstep. Sometimes even help them take the groceries out of the bags and put them in the refrigerator or the storage areas in their own home. So they need this kind of assistance. Now, if a person who is running this grocery store is smart, they would offer a service in which they just, even if the person is the senior citizen is not comfortable using the computer. Most of the senior citizens are not comfortable even now. So what they could do is they could just grab a phone and call this grocery store and give them their list. Okay, once the list has been sent over, it is repeated by the vendor, and then once confirmed by the senior person here, they would put things together and deliver at the doorstep and collect cash or whichever form of payment is comfortable for them from them, and also help them unbag the groceries. Now this is known as micro marketing. Okay, it's serving the immediate needs of immediate and very micro or very undeclared or sort of undemanded needs of the consumers. Okay, up next we have local marketing. Let's describe local marketing in detail. Local marketing involves tailoring brands and promotion to the needs and wants of local customer groups, for example, in cities, neighborhoods, and stores. Okay, advances in communications technology have given rise to a new high tech version of location based marketing. Now, local marketing or location based marketing are two terms that are used interchangeably. Now, by coupling mobile phone services with GPS service devices, many marketers are now targeting customers wherever they are with what they want. This might include marketers reaching people near their stores looking to make a decision. Now, this is something, for example, if you're driving by a store and suddenly you get a message. For example, I drive from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, and once I'm in Dubai, I pass by the mall of the Emirates, which is a very famous mall in Dubai, and immediately I start getting messages from the mall through the SMS that there is a sale going on, and whatever departments are having sale, for example Banana Republic or Gap or Old Navy, all of these stores, if they are having any sales, I would get updated instantly as I drive by the Mall of the Emirates. Now this is known as location based marketing. Now sometimes people don't like such marketing gimmicks because it's like an intrusion to the privacy. They're like, especially if you have the location feature on your phone. These services, they are actually programmed to locate people driving by their business area, and if at a certain radius around their business area, if anybody happens to be passing by, they are spotted on the service, they are sent a message. Now this seems a little bit rude, an invasion of privacy, but it's happening. Location based marketing is happening because many people do like getting messages like these, and they want to go ahead and check it out. So, and it can drive up manufacturing and marketing costs by reducing economies of scale. It can also create logistics problems as companies try to meet the varied requirements of different regional and local markets. Further, a brand's overall image might be diluted if the product and message vary too much in different localities. So these are the things that you need to be mindful of location-based marketing. You might divert a lot of traffic to your company or your business, but you need to make sure that there is a consistency, a sense of uniformity in all the messages that you send. Individual marketing Individual marketing involves tailoring products and marketing programs to the needs and preferences of individual customers, also known as one-to-one marketing, customized marketing, or mass customization. Markets of one marketing. So these are the three terms that are used interchangeably with individual marketing. Okay, and the individual marketing is usually carried out when you already have a target market and you try to differentiate individual needs of this target market. So you try to come up with some kind of a product that might please a lot of these individuals, not just one individual, mind you, a lot of these individuals with similar needs. Okay, mass customization, if you've heard, yeah, we spoke about mass customization. Mass customization is the process through which firms interact one-to-one with masses of customers to design products and services tailor-made to meet individual needs. Okay, and it has made relationships with the customers important in the new economy, provides a way to distinguish the company against competitors. So this is also known as mass customization, in which, like I just mentioned, that you're trying to product you're trying to create a product for a lot of individuals in your target market, and you're trying to customize your product for these individuals. Okay, for example, in skincare, somebody may have oily skin, but if you want to further differentiate their product, sometimes this particular brand is good for oily skin, but it has fragrance, and a lot of people with oily skin do not like fragrance. So there can be an alternative product mass customized for these individuals who do not like fragrance. And what happens is that you create a product which is fragrance free, which is free of any kind of sweet smell or scents, and it's like completely neutral smelling, and people who do not like fragrance, they can use it easily, because fragrance sometimes irritates oily skins. So this is known as individual marketing and mass customization. All right. Okay, if you look at the positioning of the product after you're done with the targeting, positioning is the way the product is defined by consumers on important attributes, the place the product occupies in consumers' minds. Now, this is what you're talking, this is from the consumer's perspective, okay? Relative to competing products, for example, how they perceive their impressions, their feelings. Are they having, good feelings? What kind of feelings they have? Positive feelings? Do they trust? Do they value? Do they look forward? Do they want to get it? Do they get impatient? All of these feelings should be associated with the way you position your product. Now, Tide is positioned as powerful all-purpose family detergent. You must have seen it. And all purpose means you can use it for washing clothes, you can use it for washing tiles, you can use it for washing bathrooms, you can use it for washing dishes. I mean, this is how they position their product, which is like, Tide is your one-stop detergent for all your washing needs. That's what they try to tell you. And there are a lot of dishwashing liquids also, where they show the hands of a lady, in which you can say that, yeah, by using this product, your hands will never be spoiled. You will always have beautiful, healthy looking hands. So these are the kind of products, the way they are positioned, they win the hearts of the consumer, because they want to take care of their hands. At the same time, they want to take care of, it's like, very powerful on the grit or grease, and very soft on hands. That's how they say. And Subway, the Subway famous restaurant, the selling sandwiches, they would say that eat fresh. Immediately you have this feeling that I'm not going to eat any stale food, this is going to be fresh. So this is how they position their product in the minds of the consumer. Okay, in the automobile market, Mercedes and Cadillac are positioned on luxury, and Porsche and BMW on performance. Volvo positions powerfully on safety. Okay, and Toyota positions its fuel efficient hybrid Prius as a high tech solution to the energy shortage. So how far will you go to save the planet, it asks. So depending on your emotional, environmental, and your beliefs, you will be catered accordingly. Okay, and depending on how you feel about something, you will be known, you will be provided the product in the same way. Differentiation and positioning. If you look at all of these cars here, luxury, performance, and price. Okay, you have a Navigator. Okay, it's a luxury, at the same time in price is low. Range Rover is a little bit higher in price, and it's more towards performance than luxury. Okay, the location of each circle shows where consumers position a brand on two dimensions. Okay, price and luxury, performance, orientation. The size of each circle indicates the brand's relative market share to the segment. Thus, Toyota's Land Cruiser is a niche brand that is perceived to be relatively affordable and more performance oriented. Whereas the Toyota's Land Cruiser, okay, yeah, green, it is a niche brand of the Hummer. Okay, Hummer is there, but within the Hummer you have the Land Cruiser, which tries to tell you that this is how consumers perceive. Instead of getting something really big as a Hummer, they can easily get a Land Cruiser, which will be lower in cost and high in performance. So this is how different customers, they perceive different products. Differentiation and positioning continued. When you're choosing your differentiation strategy and positioning strategy, identify a set of possible competitive advantages to build a position, choose the right competitive advantages, and select an overall positioning strategy, which means that you need to take a look at all of the brands, what kind of services they're offering, and how you can stand out. Why would they go to you? That is the question you need to answer. When you differentiating and positioning your product, you need to answer the question that why would the consumer leave all of this on left and right of your product and come to you? Why would they do it? Choosing a differentiation and positioning strategy. Competitive advantage is an advantage over competitors gained by offering consumers greater value either through lower prices or by providing more benefits that justify higher prices. For example, high quality, expensive, too cheap, value for money. All of these are competitive advantages. Okay. Tough Book by Panasonic is positioned as durable, reliable, wireless notebook that can protect the customer's work even in the toughest environment. So that's how that notebook by Panasonic gets a competitive advantage over other products. It might be similar storage size, processing speed, CPU, all of those things inside, but it will the physical skeleton or the body of the laptop is so durable. It's called Tough Book, and people would definitely want to buy because laptops sometimes are very fragile. You have to be careful with them, and the advertisement would show that the laptop falls down off a 20-story building or it's crushed under a car and all of these things. I mean, it's a little bit unrealistic, a little bit exaggerated, but these things help position the product in the minds of the consumer, and they're convinced that this is the best one for us. Differentiation and positioning, choosing the right competitive advantage, difference to promote should be important, distinctive, superior, communicable, preemptive, affordable, and profitable. Preemptive here is an important term here, which means that it should be able to offer multiple things at the same time. Okay, all of these things should be offered by the right competitive advantage strategy. Okay, it should be superior in many ways, should stand out, distinctive. It should be important to the consumer, like valuable, affordable at the same time, profitable, and communicable. Communicable means if you have any salesperson standing next to your product, they should be able to explain very clearly how this product stands out. Okay, communication, delivering the chosen position. A company must take steps to deliver and communicate the desired positions to the target consumers. Choosing the positioning is often easier than implementing the position. Emphasizing the product's current position through advertising and promotion. Finding a niche product position for your product that no one else has. So these are the steps you need to take in order to drive a market which is customer driven, push for a market that is customer driven. So that is, in a sense, the entire summary of the whole chapter 7, customer driven marketing. And I hope you have understood what it takes to create a customer based or consumer based product. Okay, let's see you in chapter 8. All right, and if you have any comments, please send me under this video. See you shortly.